Hey, what is up, guys? It is Astral Paladin coming at you with another deck profile here today. And today I have my standard format Great Nature deck profile. Mysterious Fortune came out and released a bunch of support for Neo Nectar, Gold Paladin, and Great Nature, as you can see. And the support is actually really cool. I like it a lot. And so I built a deck. I'm still trying to find Gold Paladin stuff to create a Agravain deck, but more on that later. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. So starting off with the gifts between XL1 and XL2, honestly, like with most Vanguard decks nowadays, they usually work well with one of their first or second gifts. Like, Neo Nectar works best with Force 2, or Genesis works best with Force 1, or, Narukami works best with XL2, along with pretty much every other XL clan. Honestly, Great Nature can do pretty good with XL1. The reason why is because you have a lot of cards that gain good effects, but sometimes don't have the power to back them. And so XL1 just gives them the boost that I feel they need. So, but the thing is though, if you're going up against another XL deck or, a beefy Protect deck, sometimes XL2 might be the way to go. So Great Nature can really realistically do both. So, but without further ado, let's just get right into the deck profile. The starter, I'm running Blackboard Parrot because everybody's running Jet Ink Fox, and I'm like, hey, let's show Blackboard Parrot some love. He's a good bird. But you can run whatever you want. For grade 3s, obviously I am running 4 copies of Holy Great Sage of Black Shadows Isabel. She has the skill on Vanguard Circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3, whenever you perform one of the effects, based on if it's a normal unit or trigger unit, on any of your cards, you perform both the effects. So Binoculus Tiger or, Matilda or Cecile, anything that uses the effect, like perform one of the effects based on if it's a trigger unit or normal unit, you can perform both of the effects, which is really awesome. And then she has a skill on Van or Rear. You Soul Blast 1 when placed, you send the top card of your deck to the drop zone, and then perform one of the effects based on what it is. If it's a normal unit, she can gain 15,000 power, and then if it is a trigger unit, you add the card to your hand. It's not bad. Like, the only reason you really run it is to get the effect that you can perform both of the effects for perform one of them. That's realistically the main reason you want to run it. I feel like they could have upped this card a little bit more and it wouldn't have been that bad. I feel like the 15,000 power with the normal unit is fine. And then adding it to your hand if it's a trigger is cool too, for high shield value. But I feel like also, I don't know, I feel like they could have swapped it to be a Vanguard only effect, and then the Soul Blast one is fine. Then send the top card, and then if it's a normal unit, that's fine. But then if it's a trigger unit, I feel like they could have add it to your hand and then maybe gain a crit. And then when you use the effect for perform both, she'd gain 15k and a crit, and you add the trigger to your hand. I just feel like there's some crit pressure missing there. But you know what? It's whatever. This basically, Mysterious Fortune did a lot for, for Neo Nectar and Gold Paladin, completely replacing Gold Paladin's mechanic of SL2 Agravain, with Neo Nectar creating huge, gigantic tokens, and you really only need Arboros Dragon Sephiroth now. With this, you basically have to run this and Leopold in order for the deck to be kind of competitive. Not saying that she's bad by herself, but Leopold, can also create boards and everything. So definitely want to run this with Leopold. And that is why I'm running 4 copies of School Hunter Leopold. Basically, if you don't know what he does, when he has a Vanguard skill that's a continuous. If you have a grade 3 in your soul, you can use his effect, his auto skill twice, which is awesome. And he has the auto skill on Vanguard Circle when placed, send the top card of your deck to the drop zone. If it is a normal unit, you can check the top 4 cards, and among those top 4, you can call any 2 grade 2 or less cards. And then if it's a trigger unit, he gains 15k and a crit. So the shitty part about him, though, is when you ride him, you have grades 3 in soul, set that up, and then you get 2 triggers off of his skill. So he has plus 30 and plus 2 crit. And then your opponent PGs, and you know that they're going to have a PG, especially if they're Protect. That sucks. But, that's the price you pay for chance. And so, yeah, but he's actually really cool, can create some pretty powerful fields. So it's not that bad. So that is it for the grade 3s. I run 8 of them. For the grade 2s, I am running 4 Binoculus Tiger. Binoculus Tiger is a beast combined with Isabel. Basically, he has the skill on Van or Rear. When he attacks, counterblast 1, send the top card of your deck to the drop zone. If it is a normal unit, you can draw a card, and then if it's a trigger unit, you can retire an opponent's rear guard and 3 things in your front row gain +5. So that is really, really cool. The reason why is because with Isabel, you can activate both of the effects. So you send a card from your deck to the drop zone, you draw a card, and you kill something, and 3 of your units in the front row will gain 5k, which is really, 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 really cool. Very, very strong card, and I like it a lot. So next, I am running 3 copies of Scientist of Black Sheen Matilda. She has the ability, when placed on Van or Rear, you counterblast 1, send the top card of your deck to the drop zone. If it is a normal unit, she gets a guard restrict, I believe is right. Yeah. She gets a guard restrict, and of the battle door effect that when she attacks, your opponent has to call at least 2 cards if they want to guard. And then if it's a trigger unit, she gets a crit. So that's nice. I feel like they could have added like maybe 5,000 power so it could hit, because if you're just calling this, to a rearguard circle and you use its skill, it's still a 9k base. So I don't know. It's whatever. It still works. Main thing you want to call this to is an Excel circle. But it's still really, really good, because with Isabel, again, you can use the effects, both effects. So she will gain a battle door effect, and then she will gain a crit, which is really awesome. If you guys don't know what battle door effect is, by the way, it's the first card that had that guard restrict with the 2 cards or more was Battle Door Fighter from set 1. So, but yeah, that's why it's called that. The next grade 2 that I run are 3 Barcode Zebra. He has the ability that is a stackable skill. When a card is put from your deck to the drop zone, he gains 5,000 power, which is fucking amazing. Because if this guy's on your Vanguard circle on your Leopold turn, or if you a turn where you know that you're going to be sending a bunch of shit to the drop zone from your deck, then this guy will get so beefy, it's not even funny. And then your opponent will just be like, okay, like it's like a, this guy can reach up to like 40k, 45k. It's if you play it a ton. So that's really cool. And then the last grade 2 that I'm running are 2 Geograph Giants, because combined with Excel 1, this guy is just a 27k beater, or combined with Excel 2, he's a 22k beater, which is awesome. And he gains the 8k even on your opponent's turn if he's on the Excel circle. He's got the ability on an Excel circle, he gets additional 8k at all times, which is really, really cool. So I like that. That is it for the grade 1s. I am playing 12 of them, 6, 10, 12, yeah. Moving on to the grade 1s, I am running 3 copies of Prober of Black Jet Cecile. When placed on Van or Rear, you Soul Blast 1, send the top card of your deck to the drop zone. If it is a normal unit, you Soul Charge 1 and she gains 5k. This is how you could potentially charge a grade 3, and then you'll have the Leopold set up for the grade 3 turn, but that's the only way you can get it in there early. And then if it's a trigger unit, you draw 2 cards and discard 2. I mean, this card's okay. If you want to, if you really want to use that skill, that's fine. There's really just not a whole ton of, other choices. Over this, you could maybe run Tank Mouse, but I feel like Isabel herself is Tank Mouse, so it's really up to you. I don't mind the card. If I ever need to dig for something, I will use her ability, because if I hit a trigger, I can draw 2. The only bad part is that you have to discard 2, and that really, really sucks. Like, if it was like a discard 1, that would be great, but it is what it is. The next grade 1 that I run are 3 Scale Toucans. He basically has the ability that when placed on rearguard, you can Soul Blast 1 and return one of your rearguards to your hand. So, like, if you have a Matilda that survived a turn and you want to use a skill again, you can Soul Blast 1, put her back in the hand, and then call her right back to the field. And then on Van or Rear, it's a once per turn effect. When the card is sent from your deck to the drop zone, it gains 5k, so you can be a 13k booster, which is really cool. The next grade 1 that I play are 3 copies of Wombitch, I don't know. Auto when on rear guard, when your normal unit is put from your deck to your drop zone, he can retire himself. You return that normal unit to your hand, which is really cool. Because let's just say you use Leopold's skill, you're sometimes sending 2 cards from your deck to the drop zone. You might want to get one of them back. Let's say if it's a Binoculus Tiger, or even with Matilda's skill, if you haven't got it off, then anything that, or Binoculus Tiger, literally anything that will send something to the drop zone, he can get it back if it's a normal unit. So I like that a lot. Honestly, if you want to take out one of her to make a fourth one. That's not a bad idea at all. I only have 3, but that's, you know, whatever. So that's not a bad idea at all. And then I run 2 Monoculus Tiger. If you don't know what he does on Vanderveer, when he attacks or boosts, a rear guard, has to boost a rear guard. You can Soul Blast 1, send the top card of your deck to the drop zone. If it's a normal unit, your opponent cannot call Sentinels. Yeah, if it's a normal unit, your opponent cannot call Sentinels, and if it's a trigger unit, your opponent cannot, or can only call grade 0s. So they cannot call normal units, which is really cool, because then again, combined with Isabel, this thing's a fucking beast, because if it's boosting like a amped up Barcode Zebra, or maybe a Matilda, boosting Matilda with her, both of her effects live is great, because not only will you have to guard with at least 2 cards, one of those cards cannot be none of the cards can be a Sentinel, and then they have to be grade 0s, which filters their hand out of grade 0s, which is awesome. So that's really, really cool. And then honestly, if you want to take out these next 2 cards from more Monoculus Tiger, you can. I just run 2 Silver Wolf, because in the back row, he's a 12k booster, which is fine. But if you want to take those out for more Monoculus Tiger, that's not bad at all either, because some people don't run him. That's fine. I just run him for the extra power. You know, it's whatever. It's totally up to you. But that is my grade 1 lineup. How many do I have? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 grade 1s. So, yeah. Moving on to the triggers. I am running 6 crits. I'm running 3 Triangle Cobra and 3 Ruler Chameleon. It doesn't matter what you run. And then I'm running 2 front triggers, 2 Alarm Chicken, because of the fact that sometimes you want to hit a lucky front. The crit pressure is a lot better in this deck, just because you have, you know, pretty decent sized rear guards, and the crit will just add a lot of pressure. But then fronts are also really cool when you hit them during your drive check. It sucks when you mill through them, but that's the price you pay. And then obviously I'm running 4 drop PGs and 4 heals because I'm playing Vanguard. But yeah, that is it for this deck profile. Great Nature is actually a really fun deck to play. I love it, and honestly, like, it's not the most competitive deck out there, obviously, but for all you Great Nature people out there, if you like Great Nature, this is a deck that you want to pick up. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Astral Paladin, signing off.